Hello everybody, welcome to Grand Tacticians, the Civil War. This is the Confederate campaign, starting with the spring of 1861 start. This is the Battle of Washington, D.C. The Federals make a stand outside of their capital to try to defend against the Army of Northern Virginia, commanded by Beauregard. Union generals, not heeding Lincoln's warnings. Only a small force of about 20,000 men are in the way of Beauregard's Confederate Army of about 50,000 men. Officer feuds get played out in the middle of the battle. That and much more in episode 21 of Grand Tactician, the Civil War. We are setting up the deployment for the Battle of Washington, D.C. We're on the outskirts of the city as the Union defenders are going to try to meet us in front of the city and slow our progress down. So we have Clayton on our right, James in the center, and Pillow on our left is our deployment as we deploy our guns. I am kind of recording some voiceover work here because at the time of this recording, my voice was suffering from some laryngitis and I was very less talkative in this video. Guess we can kind of set up here for maybe a flanking maneuver on the Union left and use the Piney Branch Road to quickly move through the trees and hit them from the left. You can definitely tell the difference right there. Enough about that. Let's move on with the battle. So deployment is almost done here as we almost going to look like we're going to just try to flank the Union position here. The oddity in this battle is that the opening of the battle suggested that Ewell would be on the battle site in command, but we actually have Lee with Beauregard as the commanding general, and we are waiting for Ewell's reinforcement. And as you can see, I am getting a little bit better at building breastworks without having to constantly redo them. So we dig in the center and the left, and then have Clayton freed up to move in around the flank. This battle kind of turns into a little bit of a slugfest, and we get to see the feud mechanic in action because I had left it checked on when I was experimenting with it, and it kept it for this campaign, which actually is kind of interesting. I meant to do it to start the campaign. Let's just see what happens, and it is kind of interesting how the feud mechanic works. All right, looks like we are ready to start this battle. And you hear the booming of the guns. And the Union Army is on the move. Let's see what they are up to. Looks like they're going to hit our fortified left flank. The Union Army has made a decision. And are marching towards the Confederate left flank. Some of the units are already wavering. It does look like there's some high ground around their right flank around the Emory House. Let's start moving out Clayton's division. Let's hit that right flank. Let's hit the Union left flank hard as their repositioning kind of fits our strategy pretty well here. The Union columns are under some fire from Pillow's division. Now the Union troops seem to deploy into battle formation. So if they are going to decide to hit our left flank, I'm going to hit their left flank and rear. So Clayton coming through this forested area. Union trying to organize an attack. Skirmishers were deployed and falling back a little bit. Looks like the Union is trying to position themselves between the Emory House and White House positions, which again gives us the advantage of turning their left flank, or gives us an opportunity to turn that flank. So we have Henry McCulloch and Smith's brigades, plus Huvald's cavalry brigade, plus some artillery also. Waitman. You can actually send David R. Jones in and around to support the attack. Here you can see the General Feud icon popping up on the Union. Well, and we have a feud going on. This commander is taking their own initiative. Now we see some fighting happening in the center here, because of the Union general starting their own initiative. I feel like Phelps' detachment here is going to get annihilated. Let's send Jones to hit this flank. It does look like the Union is shifting their forces away from our left flank attack. Orders are being sent to keep pursuing the Union shifting maneuver. You can still get in and around their flank. So the Union does form up to assault the Confederate left flank here. It seems like an awfully foolhardy endeavor to try to hit our entrenched position on our left. So I have my own commander starting their own initiative. We are stuck with an entire division of George James feuding with the commanding officer and taking his own initiative. What that initiative is, I have no idea. The heaviest fighting is happening here on our left flank right now. I'm going to send McClaws over here to support the defense. So every time I try to order a unit from James's division, the order gets changed. Order Huwald to assault this U.S. Cavalry Brigade. Lee, get in control of your division here. James has taken his own initiative. It really does look like he's wigging out. Still have Clayton's division securing White House from the Union position. Let's watch Huwald's cavalry push back the U.S. Cavalry division. The Confederate cavalry attack looks successful. James's division still on their own initiative, defying orders. So Huwald has been ordered to dismount and now firing on Federal troops from the rear. Henry McCulloch is engaging 2nd Brigade. And 2nd Brigade also has the cavalry behind him. He is stuck in a tough spot. I didn't see this 1st Brigade right there. If I can gain some control over James's division here, I might be able to score a major victory. Pillow's division, well entrenched, but taking on casualties nonetheless. I'm still kind of befuddled as to why we don't have our full army on the field. Basically, how the game is simulating a subordinate being insubordinate is by you clicking on where you want to do the orders and it just does the opposite or it does something completely different. It kind of glitches out, basically. McCulloch's Brigade trying to take the victory objective. See the damage taken on the White House. like Huvald has had enough of being behind enemy lines. D.R. Jones's brigade having trouble forming up. Looks like parts of James's division are trying to get involved in the battle finally. I don't know if I'm having anything to do with that, or James has finally decided to support the attack. Yeah, James's division still doing their own thing. I'm going to try to order Burbridge in around this flank of the 2nd Brigade. Our left seems to be holding firm. Although Kershaw has taken a lot of casualties, to be honest. We'd like to try to order reinforcements like Trappier from James's division, but it might be hard to gain control of that brigade. Now we have 3 brigades on the 2 brigades of the Union division under Hunter. Kershaw is wounded. It looks like his whole command might be ready to break. George Smith is wavering. Let's see if we can gain control of D.R. Jones. McIntosh falling back for some reason. Second Brigade about to rout, but they're still holding ground. Finally, 2nd Brigade of the Union Division routing. Some routing also on the right. The Militia Brigade is routed. Kershaw still holding strong. Enemy is retreating. I have a feeling that we are too far away to secure a major victory, but let's see what we can achieve in the Union rearguard action as we pursue the retreating Federals. Able to force the Union commander to retreat, even though we've had trouble with George James's division from participating, using his full force to probably capture some more Union troops. Not to mention that Ewell was absent from the battle completely. Still some heavy fighting going on the left. Kershaw finally broken after being wounded in action. Half the command is decimated. We get Union 4th Brigade to surrender. Still unable to get complete control over James's division. Ewell arrives. So we inflicted 6,000 casualties on McDowell's army only after, or only before Ewell even arrives. Only suffering 2,500 casualties. So a very lopsided victory, even though not huge casualties taken by the Union, but in comparison to their numbers, pretty significant. And at the same time, we suffered very little casualties compared to our total numbers. And if you have made it this far, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Also, if you are unsubscribed, well, go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. If you haven't seen, I have started a Union campaign that also gets the viewer feedback on picking the generals. If you want to get involved or interested in that campaign, the link will be in the description. I hope you do consider it. Narrow victory at Washington. Army of Northeastern Virginia fleeing in panic. Colonel Mix loses face. Support for the Yankee cause wavers. So that's the situation currently in Maryland. It looks like Lee might be able to enter Washington. There's only 13,000 men left in the Army of Northeastern Virginia, although Lee and Ewell's readiness have suffered with all the fighting. There's still the Army of Ohio at Annapolis. Overall, strategically, national morale for the Union has fallen to 75. And for the Confederate states, we're at a high of 98. National support for the war still remains strong, though, on the Union side. Actually stronger than the Confederate support. Well, let's end it here, and feel free to leave a comment, what you like, what you don't like, and see you on the next one.